Well, that 4-2-3-1 we were using was working beautifully while it lasted, until I discovered that in the whole of England there's apparently only one attacking midfielder, one right winger, and they're both injured. Hello and welcome to part 4 of It's Coming Home, not that one. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we get our World Cup qualifying campaign off the ground. We're away against Ireland, at home against Finland, and as mentioned in the little intro there, we've got a few selection problems. We don't have Goff, the right winger, we don't have Francis, the attacking midfielder, and we don't have much in the way of options beyond them. I have called up Sir Anthony Harris as an emergency backup player because, you know, he can cover the right wing if need be. But we are needing to try something a little bit new. We seem to have an abundance of strikers. Not only have we got Williamson, Thompson and North, who are all 4.5-star strikers, we also have the other Thompson. He's a 4-star striker. Wilson is a 4-star striker. There's not really any other 4-star players in the rest of the squad. We've just got 5 world-class strikers. So we're going to play 3 of them at the same time. I have no idea how it's going to work out because I have never, in all my years playing Football Manager, successfully got a 4-3-3 to work. So this could be messy. We're going with Powell in goal, a back four of Page, Williams, Ashworth and Hubbard. Hoskins is going to play midfield. I don't think we've played Hoskins before. I think he's a new boy. He's only got 4 caps at the moment. Has he played this season? No, he was suggested to be added to the squad, and he's a natural box-to-box midfielder, and you know how I like a box-to-box midfielder, so he just comes straight in that exact role, alongside Nix and Smith, who are our usual midfield. And then we're going with North, Thompson and Williamson up front. Remember, that's Williamson, who has 92 goals for England, North, who has 46 goals for England, and Stuart Thompson, who... okay, not quite as impressive, but I mean, he's had a decent season for Wolves, and I'm hoping that T'other Thompson will be fit enough to play in the second game, because although he's only got 1 goal for England, 21 goals for Spurs this year, he's the Premier League's current top scorer. In fact, he was injured when the squad was announced. He looks fine to play now, so we'll just swap the Thompsons over. So now we've got a lot of goals up front in this team. I just don't know if this system will work. We're sticking with the gegenpress. I don't know if that's a good idea. I've kind of mushed together a midfield and attack combination that I don't know if it's going to work or not. But we are playing against Ireland, who we've comfortably beaten twice already since we've been in this England job as part of the Nations League. So we're going to get a good indication today of whether the 4-3-3 is something we can pursue. Because if all of a sudden we're nowhere near as good as Ireland, then we know the 4-3-3 is rubbish. Whereas if we beat them as convincingly as we have a couple of times already this season, then we know that we probably do need to focus on getting all these strikers, get as many strikers onto the pitch as possible. I mean, I'm acting as if it's anything but a dream scenario. We've got a world-class strike partnership in Williams and North, who have got 150 England goals between them, but close to retiring. And then we've got 3 more who are almost as good as them already and in their early 20s. So that's the next generation of world-class strikers coming through. It's a nice problem to have. I just wish some of them could play out wide or play a little bit deeper or play left back or something, because there just doesn't seem to be any English players that are any good in any position other than striker. And then we've got a couple of central midfielders, Smith and Nix, who are quite good, but there's not much beyond them, and the whole of the defence is trash. And it's troublesome. Let's have 10 minutes of passion to try and pretend that the problem isn't there. I do need to make an apology as well to Turner, who is my former Turner, but I forgot what his first name was. I thought he was called Ian. Apparently he's called Peter, and that is him. And I ignored him when he was playing at right back in the last couple of games. He sat on the bench today, but still knocking about the place. I haven't shunned him before the match this time. I said hello, we had a chat. I pretended I didn't notice him last time. Page trying to get the ball across, second time of asking, third time of asking, and Michael Page scores, puts us 1-0 up just before half-time. We're not playing the scintillating, free-flowing, attacking football I hoped we would play. I do suspect that if we are going to do a sort of flat 4-3-3 as an ongoing thing, it probably isn't going to work in conjunction with a gegenpress. We probably need something a little bit more free-flowing and possession-based, and I don't know. I don't know how to do a 4-3-3. Please let me know down in the comments. Nix plays North in. North's there. North hits the inside of the post. And we could have gone 2-0 up with 2 goals in a minute there. And that would have eased some of the pressure. Latvia currently top of the group, presumably beating, I guess, Finland. Finland is who we play in the second half of today's episode. I'm planning on Finland at Wembley being the game where Sir Anthony Harris gets his one and only England cap. We already know from the home videos he's retiring at the end of the season. He's becoming an under-18s coach for home next year. He'll never play for home again. He's going to play for England though, as long as we don't like chasing a goal with 3 minutes to go. But if there's any way I can get Anthony Harris onto the pitch, I will, because our next matches after this are the Nations League semi-finals, and he'll be retired by then. So this is his only opportunity. Not that he's done anything in his career to suggest he should have got an opportunity to play for England, especially we've already talked about just how many good world-class strikers we've got at our disposal. But personal reasons. Got to give my boy the opportunity to play at Wembley for England. And knowing Sir Anthony Harris, he'll probably get a hat-trick because it's just the sort of thing that he does. He'll know it's his last ever game of professional football. His England debut, it was the weirdest call-up announcement I've ever seen, because as part of mentioning he was being called into an England squad for the first time, it did also mention he'd already announced his retirement and had 3 months left in his career. That was weird. Thompson's just put us 2-0 up. He is scoring for fun for Tottenham this season. Interestingly, playing for Tottenham out on the left wing, which I wish he would play the right wing and get used to that, because they've got Williamson playing up front and Thompson playing on the left wing in a 4-2-3, one of their own. But we have a number of players who can do inside forward on the left-hand side. It's just attacking midfield and right wing that there's just no depth at all in English football. I need a right winger, because we've got some good left wingers. The left-hand side of the pitch can take care of itself. It's frustrating. Being England manager is a frustration. Williamson now trying to beat his man. He does. Cross comes in but doesn't find Thompson. And Ireland look to come away with the ball. I'm struggling a little bit with the fact that it's red kits against green kits, being a red-green colourblind gentleman. But having their names underneath them is handy. I just about know the names of all the England players now. So if it's a name I don't recognise, I assume it's an Ireland player. Nix now plays it into North, who's dropped very deep. He is playing as a deep lying forward today. And Williamson is in. Can he get goal 93? He rounds the keeper. He gets his 93rd goal for England. And it's Ireland 0, England 3 after 67 minutes. And it's looking, on first inspection, like the 4-3-3 is working, because we are comfortably beating Ireland like we have the last couple of times we played them. A lot of it, has to be said, is down to the fact that our strikers are so good, but I ain't complaining. I'm tempted to bring Sir Anthony Harris on in this game, because we might... Oh, I've got to. There you go. Sir Anthony Harris making his England debut at the age of 35. Porter can come on for Hoskins. Porter was the box-to-box midfielder I was using in the last episode, and Sir Anthony Harris is playing for England on the left-hand side of a front three. Paul Perry has just come on for Ireland as well, and Turner. So we've got Perry, Turner and Sir Anthony Harris all on the pitch at the same time. That's not happened since they were all at home together. We're just going to take Smith off as a final change. I'm not sure I'm familiar with this guy. George Howard, 30 years old, not any good. A real typical example of the sort of quality that we've got, strength and depth wise, particularly in midfield and defence. 2.5-star player. Is that really the best you can offer me? For goodness sake. Let's get him on anyway though. Sir Anthony Harris, unbelievably composed. He's not played a game of football since breaking his leg over a year ago. But yeah, I'll come on for 20 minutes against Ireland. Why not? He thought his career was over when he went to the MLS 6 years ago. Now he's playing for England. What a story. What a romantic story. The Anthony Harris story. Powell, we've got a Powell and a Harris on the field together at the same time for England. It's not quite how we thought it would happen, but there you go. It's happened. Big ball forward from Powell, and I just wanted to see Harris chase after it. Good win. Well done, gentlemen. And now we go again. in 3 days. These international breaks are weird because it's been 12 games since the last Premier League game, and now we've got to play 2 games in 4 days, playing on the Friday and the Monday. Why not do a midweek one and a weekend one? Is this TV have done this to me? Ridiculous. Couple of changes for the Finland game then, mainly up front. The other Thompson swaps with the other Thompson, and Wilson comes in for Williamson. Porter coming into the team to replace Hoskins. Just really trying out different combinations of strikers. Like I was saying before, they're all 4 stars. Let's have a look at them all. We don't just because Williamson is the one who has been scoring gazillions of goals for England, and the other Thompson's the Premier League's top scorer, doesn't mean it's not worth having a look at these 2 as well. So we'll have a look at these 2 in this formation, because realistically, the future, if we do go with a front 3 long term, the future of that front 3 is likely to be the 2 Thompsons and Wilson, because they're 3 players who are all like 23, 24, all already 4-star current ability with the potential to get better. So we need to be giving them game time. We'll still keep Williamson knocking around in the squad, but we need to give everyone else a try as well. Tom Smith has just scored a screamer after 5 minutes to put us 1-0 up against Finland. Which is, I mean, we want lots of goals, and we want them early. We want Sir Anthony Harris on this pitch as early as possible at Wembley to give him the opportunity to score a goal for England. We'll stick him on penalties. We'll give everyone instructions to just fall over like they've been shot anytime they go near the opposition penalty area. Thompson has 2 bites of the cherry from the free kick. Doesn't get anywhere, but does get the ball back and scores at the 3rd time of asking. 12 minutes in, England 2, Finland 0, and 2 of the lads who've just come into the team for today's game combined for the goal. Thompson taking the free kick and the follow-up. It falls to Porter, who spotted Thompson in space, who had just drifted out there completely unmarked, and he wasn't going to miss for a 3rd time, just tucked inside, and bang, 2-0 to England. We seem to be doing all right in this setup. Nix is already struggling for fitness. It's the big issue with having to play 2 games in a weekend. It's a very silly situation that, like I say, presumably TV forces us into, but without the option to rest the players in between, it is going to be hard to keep players fit for these second matches. Thompson's done brilliantly there. I don't really know how that didn't end up in front of Wilson to finish off. I think there was a late tackling. After beating his man so brilliantly, I don't think Thompson mishit the pass quite that spectacularly. I think there was a tackle that came in leading to the interception, and then the ball bounces free again, and our front 3 are causing all sorts of problems. Lots of closing down, creating lots of space behind them for the midfielders to just enjoy a lot of time on the ball, presumably because Finland are playing with 1 midfielder. Thompson's in again, and it's a header straight at the keeper, but we are playing very well today. This is good stuff. Thompson again now, he's been everywhere. Nix to Porter. Porter all the way out to Hubbard, who's pushed forward on this right-hand side. North is there, hits the post. And that's not our Curtie, our former Curtie, is it? Playing at left-back for Finland? I don't think so. Williams now with the corner. Williams is one of our centre-backs. That's probably something we need to have a look at. And Finland looking to break, but Porter is there in combination with Page, I think, was the left-back. Pushing on. No, it's definitely not our Curtie. I don't think we've had any Finnish players throughout the home save. I don't recognise any of those names. But we are going in at half-time. 2-0 up, top of our group. And fingers crossed, we grab another one in the first 10-15 minutes of that second half. Because at that point, if we go 3-0 up, that's when we see Sir Anthony Harris. If it looks like it's going to tighten up and become hard work in this second half, I have no issue with him ending his career with just the 1 England cap, but it would be nice to give him the chance to play for England at Wembley. Mick Powell's here watching his mate, obviously, wondering what might have been. After all that, I'm going to bring him on anyway at the hour mark. North can come off. Sir Anthony Harris, almost certainly the final time you'll ever see that man play a game of football, unless we have nothing to play for at home at the end of the season. But Harris is on. And goodness me, am I desperate for him to score a goal. Porter to Nix. Nix with the cross. Hubbard is there and scores, and it's 3-0 to England. It's a lovely finish from Reece Hubbard. Bearing in mind, best English right back, can't get in Blackburn's team. He's on the loan list at Blackburn. This is how desperate we are for defenders. But it's a nice finish from Hubbard, set up by Nix. It's good to see both of our fullbacks over these 2 games pushing on and looking like our fullbacks look for home. They're starting to play the Kev way. Right, what we can do for further changes. Wilson hasn't had the best of games. I think I'm going to bring Thompson on to play with Harris and the other Thompson, just because there doesn't seem any reason to bring Williamson on in a match like this, other than helping him get to 100 goals for England. For the sake of the team, there's no reason to bring him on and risk him. He's getting on a bit. He doesn't need to play in these games. Ashworth can come off. Pat Holmes can come on, who I am looking at for home, just because he's called Holmes, and I'd like to have a player at home called Holmes. So expect to see him turn up as a 4th choice centre-back at some point. He's not good enough to sit on the bench at home. He's Southampton's defender, I think, and Southampton are bottom of the Premier League. So, again, further indication just how desperately thin on the ground we are when it comes to defenders. But Page with the corner falls to Sir Anthony Harris, who had a shot for England at least. Oh, that would have been glorious if he could have just tucked that into the back of the net. It seems that it's not to be. He is going to finish his career with 2 England caps. But unfortunately, no international goals for Anthony Harris. If only the previous managers had recognised his awesomeness a little sooner. I thought that was Harris in there, but it wasn't. It was Thompson to Thompson. And the move ends. But we've had another comfortable win. You can't call that anything other than a very efficient and successful start to World Cup qualifying. And the next time you see us with an England episode, it's going to be the semi-finals of the Nations League. And hopefully a final of the Nations League as well, as we pick up a first international trophy, which would be splendid. We'll be back with home tomorrow. Those of you who are desperate for some more home action, we will be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. If you have enjoyed today's video, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.